Hey guys, welcome back to V's Corner, from Chile to US and back again. Okay, so I left off on Jessie. I was seriously getting into the methamphetamine thing. I'm living with my drug dealer, and I got 2 kids living with me. I have 3. Jocelyn stays with my mom, and the kids, Alyssa and Eddie, come with me. And on top of this, when you have a methamphetamine problem, you also have a gambling problem. I think it's because you can stay up all night and sit there and play with machines. So the fact is that there's always a big deal about trying to get money, especially in Vegas. Trying to get money to get high, and then trying to get money to go spend while you're high. Yeah. So I'm going through this whole revolution of stuff now. You know, I mean, I'm paying for my own rent in this place, Shelter Island, where it's literally Tweaker's paradise. Everything's close. Downtown Vegas is close. So, I mean, all kinds of stuff happens over there. So, not only now am I always high, I'm figuring out when my next high is going to be. On top of taking care of 2 kids, you know, making sure that they get fed, making sure that everything, you know. And the worst part of all of this is that there's so many lapses of memories that I've just lost. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember of the kids when they were little, and I hate that because I was always high. It's like I was literally high. I mean, I remember my Eddie, when he was little, I would be in the bathroom smoking, trying to get high so I could get going, you know, like start my day. But as most of you guys know, that of the ones who have been addicted, it's like you start to smoke and it feels like you're not there yet, and you got to keep smoking until it's like all of a sudden when you start to feel like your heart like then you're like, okay, get up, go, let's go, boom. And in those lapses of time, I remember my son like, Mom, with his fingers under the door, Mom. So I could finally come out, and I'd be like, okay, let's start the day, or let's do what we got to do, you know. On top of that, I had to work, come home, pick up kids. I mean, my life was pretty stressed out at the time because not only was I always high, I had 3 jobs. I mean, I had 3 jobs because I had to make it work. And little by little, I started losing the jobs. And then because of being high and not going and falling asleep, not waking up. So then after that, I think, you know, I mean, I start doing little jobs here, getting called as temp services and stuff like that. But I'm not getting anywhere. So I just decided, like, to depend on Jessie, you know, like, and since he was doing so good at this time, like, because he was a dealer, he always had stuff, and he always had money. So I start to depend on him. The problem is that he starts to get hooked on the stuff too. His whole plan in the beginning was, if you don't get hooked, you're good. But he got hooked. So it just got harder for us. And then not only did we lose the place where we were, we didn't, you know what, it's like I feel like I lost so much part of this. We didn't just lose, like, we like got into so much trouble because of him. Like, he got involved in this deal where with these guys, and they took him supposedly to California to go get stuff with his contact that he had. And then they threw him out of the car, like literally left him for dead. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? The guy doesn't show up. Cops call me in the middle of the night telling me that he's in the hospital, and I'm like, what the hell? So he disappears from my life, and now I'm like, and it wasn't that long, but it was at least a month that he was disappeared, and he was in his hospital recovering and stuff. Then he came back. He came back for me and the kids, and he wanted to be, I don't know if he really wanted to be with us. He really needed a place to stay, so it kind of worked out the whole way. But me and Jessie at the end, it was a toxic relationship. It's like I needed him, he needed me. So it was just there. I helped him heal. You know, nothing changed. We were always high. The kids were fine because if most of you know, like, I mean, high for me was high able to do stuff. If I didn't have it, I'd send him to go get it. You know what I mean? I was not trying to like be all drugged out and not taking care of my kids at the time and all that stuff. Always. So now we start to lose stuff, you know what I mean? Like selling things that we had, you know, because now we gotta stay high all the time. We ended up being homeless. I ended up dragging my kids from hotel to hotel to motel to motel to friends' houses. It was terrible. And it was all because we were trying to get high. And I just made sure that my kids were with me all the time. And no matter what, they were always with me. I was making myself believe that that was okay. I don't know. Things started getting hectic. I mean, I remember like staying in casinos, like waiting with my kids for Jessie to go and find money for the next step, for us to eat, for us to sleep, for us to whatever. And I couldn't do anything because I had to take care of my kids. So with whatever money he would leave me, I would make sure that they ate. We would be walking back and forth, casino to casino, trying to stay in the same place so he wouldn't, there wasn't there was cell phones, but it wasn't like something that we had at that time. I think one day in a casino that he took forever. I mean, he left us there like in the morning and then it was night and the kids are starving. The kids are cold. The last thing I could do is call my parents again. And that's, I mean, I didn't want to, but I did it. They showed up in 2 seconds. They came to get us and everything. At that point, I decided that I couldn't drag my kids around anymore. But I'm still a drug addict. You know what I mean? So I'm still in the mentalization is that I got to get high. So I go home with my parents, you know, I sleep, I get okay, you know, and then I wait for Jessie to call. And when Jessie calls, I disappear. I take off again, go find him because I want to get high and I need to get high so I can survive, right? But now I know that the kids are okay with my parents. So I just take off to go get high again. And in all this mess, in February around, you know, me and Jessie disappear. We take off. Same stuff. House to house, friends to friends, hotel to hotel, motel to motel. And we just, you know, like all of us, I don't even realize how much time is going past. February passes, March passes. He gets locked up for something. I go back home. Comes out. I leave again. It's this toxic relationship. And then I just decide no more. So then I go home, you know, and I decide I'm going to get a job. And I get a job as a medical assistant because that's what I studied. In a clinic close to my house. One thing about me is that no matter what, whenever I decide to do something, I've always had good luck in finding something. So I get this job and then this clinic and everything, and then it's like I'm there about 3 months. And then, you know, like I'm feeling sick one day and, you know, since there's nurses everywhere, I get a pregnancy test. Pregnant. What? I've been working here 3 months. He's been locked up. How the hell am I pregnant? I was almost 5 months pregnant. I mean, I wasn't doing drugs as much as I was when I was hooked because I was working. But I was still doing them. So now I gotta stop. Cold turkey. On top of that, I'm working. It's like, but I did it. I felt, it was crazy too, because on top of that, my mom and dad, I just gave up a baby for adoption. Because I can't have baby. I don't want to have another baby and all this. Or, well, obviously there was more to it. But, and now I'm pregnant again. And it's like, oh my God. My dad wants to kill me. The truth is, I don't remember what my living situation was at that point. I'm telling you, the drugs really messed me up. But when I did tell him, he was so mad. I I don't really remember where I was living. I think I still live there, but my dad didn't talk to me. Because I worked my whole pregnancy, the whole thing, till days. October 31st, I went trick-or-treating with the kids. November 2nd, boom, there he was. Carlos, my baby. Carlos, he's named after my father because I figured that was like the easiest way to get him to stop being mad at me for having another baby. So I named him after my dad. And then Carlos got out. I think he came back into my life. It kept happening, but now I had got my own place. That's what it was. See, I got my own. I rented a little house close to my parents. The kids were okay. I was working, and my life was getting back to normal. I was still doing drugs, but it was a more working environment type thing. It was to get up in the morning. I would still sleep. Get up in the morning to get ready to work. When I'd come home, do another little bit just so I could continue with the kids. But then I would just stop, and then go to bed. So it was a pretty much weird cycle that I was going through. But Jesse showed up again. He would come. He would show up. He would disappear. Show up, disappear. But I was trying to stay as stable as possible. I tried not to let him affect me. But that circle of drugs takes you places. I met people. I sold drugs. I went to different places to get them. I made friends. Friends. Drug friends. They were to get high with and stuff like that. And then it was just, I don't know. I got to the point where I started to lose track of what was going on, what was happening with me. I didn't know how to react. I was always mad at the kids. I was always fighting with my parents. Money. My mom always wanted money, and I was like, wait a minute, I need money to get high. I can't give you my money. I don't know. It was this drama because my parents really helped me with everything, but we never got along. We could never get along. And plus on top of that, the fact that now I'm here at this point, I'm a drug addict and I got kids, and all they want to do is help me, and I don't want them around. It's just a lot to take in. Then what happened to Jesse? Jesse kept disappearing on me. He would show up for times and then he would disappear. But he was a tweaker. That was his thing. You know what I mean? So he would find stuff. He was a thief. The way he got stuff was by stealing bikes. He used to steal bikes in Vegas. So if you guys are all worried about what happened around what year was he born? 2003 about? And there was a epidemic of bicycles being stolen. Yeah, that was him. Every day, 2 to 3 bikes a day. And he would sell them, and he would make money, and he would bring money for food, bring money for drugs, and then the other money was his, and he'd disappear. I started to do good. Then again, I ended up losing again that apartment, that house. It was a little mini apartment, but a house type. It was a duplex, actually. And then I think I took my kids to my mom, and then there's a period of my life that I just kept disappearing to. And now I remember now, when Eddie would disappear, I was like, what the hell's wrong with him? And then you realize, yeah, you're so high. You go from house to go get high. This friend, you meet somebody here. Hey, let's go. Hey, you know what? I got a friend that got this good stuff. You want to go get it? Here. Yeah, let's go over here. Yeah, let's go over here. Hey, when you're on that stuff, you don't even realize what time it is because you're always high. Sometimes 2 days pass by and you're like, the fuck? What day is it? What? Thursday. It was just Monday. It's I don't know. And then my mom would find me, or my guilt would start to come in, and I would call home, and my mom would come get me, and I made my mom suffer so much. I would cry. I would fall asleep. I would throw tantrums. My kids, my oldest daughter, she saw me. She saw me have the shakes and stuff because my mom would lock me in a room to try to keep me there, you know. And it was terrible. And I would do good for a while, and then I'd lose it again. And I always found a way to get back on my feet, but then I'd always find a way to lose it right away. I mean, I'm a pretty smart girl. I have education. I mean, I know stuff, you know, and I can do a lot. It's just that the drugs were just much stronger than I was. And then after this, like, this part of my life, I'm lost. I have 4 kids. I don't know what to do. And I'm a drug addict, addicted to methamphetamine. And I have to stop, and I don't know how to do it. And I don't want to be alone. I need somebody to help me with my kids. I mean, I'm a mess right now. So it's 2003. I have 4 kids. And I'm high out of my mind. Next step is so much bigger too. So I hope you're still liking the videos, and hope you subscribe. And if you guys are hooked, wait for the next video.